Actually, most of the companies in China are private.
Really?
Yeah,
They really...
the majority are private. China has a mixed economy, pretty similar to continental Europe.
And I'm curious, based on your perception of what you think Americans think about China, how much would you say that we're being lied to? Or like, what would you say the biggest surprise is for an American?
Like most of the Western media's narratives about China are fake. Mostly the facts are like 70% true, but the narrative is mostly fake because they try to frame it into very specific narratives. For example, there is no such thing as social credit in China. It's a whole lie. The whole social credit thing is fake.
Does the Chinese government actually own every company, or is it, that's what they tell us? They tell us the Chinese government owns everything, every company, your data is being eaten by the government?
No, it's
They
fake.
just lie about everything, what the heck?
No, it's fake. There are many private companies. Actually, most of the companies in China are private.
Really?
Yeah.
They really...
The majority are private. China has a mixed economy, pretty similar to continental Europe. Most of the companies are private and government doesn't give a damn as long as you are not doing anything political.
I see. Okay. So can I ask, are there any industries where the government does own? Like in America, there are industries that the government owns the things.
The government owns, for example, the railway and post service, but only a part of the post service. And actually in China, it's kind of like that. Every industry has a part of government ownership. Like there are food companies which are government owned, but there are others who are private owned. There are tech companies that are government owned, but others are private owned.
There's always a public option and a private option.
Yeah, kind of like that.
I think that is a very good system because I think about how America only has the private system and there's no competition that is caring about the people. There's only people that are caring about money, which is a bad system here in America.
Well, actually, in China, it's kind of like that. The public option also operates by the logic of the market, so there is no big difference.
I see.
Sometimes on Taobao, I buy some food from a government-owned megacorp. Sometimes from private sellers, the price are the same, the quality are the same, so no difference. But I think the most profound difference is in healthcare. Yeah, the healthcare is mostly government-owned. We have cheap, efficient, and fast public hospitals. But the downside is the hospitals are very crowded. The environment, the service may not be very good. But if you're rich, you can go to private hospitals. They are much more expensive, like 50 times, 30 times more expensive than the public option. The quality of healthcare is actually pretty much the same, but the service, the environment are much better.
Really? That's actually really interesting that the level of service is the same as well. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Like the medical care itself is the same, but the doctors, the nurses in the private hospitals are much more patient. The environment is better. The customer experience is better, but the actual drug, the actual service is more or less the same. The public hospitals may give some cheaper drugs. The private hospital may give some more expensive drugs, but the quality was the same until very recently when the government hospitals just want to cut price and use some worse drugs, like worse quality drugs. They just want to cut expenses. And now this problem is a process of being corrected. The government is already asking experts their opinions, things like that.
About another thing that we're told in America, I'm curious if the Great Firewall is actually a thing or if that's just another narrative spin.
It's a theme, but now every young person knows how to use VPN, so that's pretty much non-existent.
So it's not really a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it technically is a theme, but most young people know how to use the VPN. Most old people do not know.
And with a VPN, you're able to get out of it?
Yeah, I regularly use it for like watching YouTube, for research. The government doesn't give a single damn.
There's the firewall, but they don't care if you go around it, is what it's basically.
Yes, correct.
I'm under the impression, and this is about kind of the firewall, I'm under the impression that a lot of the regulations in place are to protect Chinese people. So I'm on Xiaohongshu, as you know, and I've had a lot of people doing this Myanmar scam meme in my comments. I think it's a Myanmar scam meme. But I'm under the impression that a lot of these firewalls and regulations were to protect people that were getting scammed. Like I heard that Chinese people were getting organ trafficked by Myanmar people, or is this me misunderstanding the people in my comment section?
Well, actually, the Myanmar scam scene mostly targets undereducated people, so they are not the group that most likely want to go outside of the Great Firewall.
I see.
The Great Firewall, I'd say, I don't have an opinion on it because it's not a thing. I use VPN every day, so
Oh, true.
I don't
Yeah.
have an opinion.
That makes sense. Okay. I did have another question. It was not about that. I'm curious if there are better ways to access history from the Chinese perspective, because sometimes I will try to research certain events that I know have an American name and a Chinese name, and you get very different results. And sometimes I want to learn about
I
things.
see it. I do not want to tell the